We're back. On this video I'm going to show you the so-called no-name knot, which is what you're going to use to attach your twisted leader. This is going to represent the end of the twisted leader, the two-strand portion, and we're going to attach our tippet to that. Going to use a different colored material here so we can see the difference between the two as the process is moving along. First thing you want to do is double over 9 or 10 inches of your tippet material. Put a kink in it, then run it through the loop on the leader. Pull most of that through, leave a couple inches down here, and stick your finger in here and make sure that you keep this section open where my index finger is right there. Okay, now we're going to make our wraps. Make at least 7 wraps, 2, 3, 4. You can make 4 up, 3 down, however you want to do it. Okay, now I'm going to take, I've got my finger in there holding that tippet loop open, and I'm going to pass the end of the tippet loop into here and start to pull this down, mostly pulling the tag ends. If it gets uneven like this one seems to be, go ahead and pull a little bit on the loop. And when it gets down to about this point where it's starting to really tighten up and those loops are going to start undoing, you want to wet it. So I'm going to wet this. I simply use saliva. Now you pull it down tight. At this point you can pull on the loop a little bit, and it's probably best to be using gloves, and you want to get this knot, all these turns right next to one another without any of them crossing one another. There you go. Sometimes it works just to take and use your thumbnail and your forefinger and slide those down a little bit. Now at that point you want to make sure it's firmly set by pulling on the loop. So now we have a loop, tag end, the standing end of this knot. These are all down there pretty good, nice and firm. Again, it's a good thing to go in and double or even triple check your knots, make sure everything's right. And then the last thing I usually do on this is I get a pair of pliers and I pull on that tag end. If I can get these things open. Wrong pair. And get in here. Pull that to make sure it's firmly seated. It is possible that the winds from that are a little bit off. Not quite as tight as some of the others. That's looking pretty good. So at this point I just need to come in and clip this. Great pair of pliers I chose for this task. There we go. This one. Then clip off with the loop, both sides of the loop. You want to leave a little bit of that sticking out. And there you have the no-name knot. And that's what attaches your tippet to the leader.